Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. In this video, I'm going to discuss SQL or what is SQL knowledge is required for data analyst or data analysis position in industry. So in this, I will discuss what is the data, what is the database, what is the SQL, then what is the RDBMS, and what we can do using SQL, various types of SQL commands, and what are the important SQL points for data analysis perspective. Okay. So let's understand what is the data. So data can be anything, okay, any kind of information about any object, any place, any person that can be stored in or that can be used by a computer. Right. So this is how data can be defined. Then what is a database? So database is well organized collection of data. Okay. So whatever the data you have, you are supposed to store that data somewhere in your memory or storage. Okay. But you are supposed to organize that. You are supposed to organize that, right? So that you can easily access or to connect, to modify, to change. Okay. So database is a well organized collection of data that is stored in an electronic format. To be more specific, we can say that is SQL database is an electronic system that allows user meaning us, okay, to easily access, manipulate, and update data. And to perform these operations, okay, to fetch the data, to get the data, to access the data, or to manipulate the data. Manipulate meaning change the data or delete the data, then add the data. These kinds of operations are treated as a data manipulation. And to perform these operations, SQL has a command. So SQL is a language. That language specifically used for database to organize the data, to perform these operations on data. Okay. So SQL stands for Structured Query Language. This is a long form of SQL. And SQL allows you to communicate with the database by using commands. We will see what and all commands SQL has. Okay, but before that, SQL can be used. What are the different systems in market? Database management systems, okay. Or we can say the relative database management system. RDBMS stands for relative database management system. So these are the systems, not these are the only, okay, there are many more systems out there. We can use SQL to manipulate the data, to manage the data, or to organize the data, I can say. So MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle SQL, SQL Server, Azure, AWS, Google Cloud. So these are the things these are the storage can be handled by using SQL. So now what is the RDBMS? RDBMS is a software, okay. It stands for Relational Database Management System. It is a system to organize the data, or we can say RDBMS is a tool or software that enable IT team and other people to create, update, delete, or interact with relational database. So RDBMS will not allow you to store the files. Instead of that, it will allow you to store the entire data in the form of table. That is why we say that data is structured data. Structured data meaning data is in column or row. And this kind of data is handled by using SQL. So RDBMS I discussed. Now what we can do? We can create a database by using SQL. Create tables, then insert, add the data into the database, then retrieve data. Retrieve data means fetching the data, then update the record, delete the record. We can create store procedure functions, views, and just triggers. We can say triggers in SQL, so that these are the operations. These are the operations so that SQL allows us to perform the various things with data. Okay, now what are the different SQL commands? So this is a list of SQL commands which are used to perform the operation on data. Select command is used to fetch the data. Drop command is used to delete the database or table. Create command is used to create a database, create table, create view, create store procedure, create function, create triggers. Like this, you can use. So create is a command. Okay. Again, insert is one more command to insert the data. Update is command to update the data from database. Delete is command used to delete the data from a table. Alter is a one more command that is used to change the data, database objects like a table or its column, its data, the column's data type can be handled by or changed by using alter. Truncate is one more command to remove all the records from a table. Okay, command rename. If you want to rename the database, you can rename, log, call, grant, revoke, begin, commit, rollback, and set transaction. These are the SQL commands. Okay, so now let's see how these commands are classified on the basis of what. So first type of command is data query language. Okay, so DQL. So DQL is a command or type of command under which only select command comes. Okay, under which only select commands comes, and that command is basically used to fetch the data. So meaning, whenever you are trying to get the data, that term can be referred with the help of word query, right? That term will be referred with the help of query. That's why we call it the data query language. Then data definition language. These languages are used to work with database objects. Okay, so how to work with database objects, I will discuss. So data definition language is nothing but SQL commands that can be used to define the database schema, to create a database, to delete a database. Okay, to truncate is one more command, to drop the database or to change the database object. But DDL commands cannot be used with data. Okay, these commands cannot be used with data. DDL commands only used to create, modify, and delete database structure. Remember, this is the difference. Okay, this is a difference. So these commands cannot be used with data. Then how to manipulate the data, how to change the data? So for that purpose, we have a command type called data manipulation language. Okay, so SQL commands which are used to manipulate the data means what is there, how to manipulate the data. So you can insert the data, you can update the data, you can delete, log, call, explain. So these are the commands falls under data manipulation language. Next is data query language. I discussed, right? Select statement is used. Then what are the SQL points as an data analyst you should learn? If you want to become a data analyst, so you should know these many things from data analysis to work with database independently. So very important points I am going to call. Other points you can do as per your. So data analyst will never try to update the record, delete the record. Okay, so you can ignore those things, but you should know these are the simple queries. Okay, simple SQL commands. Select is very important because anyways, as a data analyst, we need to fetch the data, right? And with select, you are supposed to use where clause with and or not, like, in between, exist, all, any. These are the operators which are going to help to put the filter on data. Okay, order by is again important. Then subqueries are important, so you should know what is subqueries and all. Then aggregation functions are going to help you with the data. Then group by clause, a being clause, case statements, null functions, store procedure, functions, if else in SQL, how you can use, and then it is not necessary or not important that you should know the constraint, because constraints are used while creating a database, right? So that is not a most important part for data analysis. But yes, if you know, it is good. Then view you can create, okay, that is also fine. Window functions, very important point. Then common table expression, CTE, then SQL string function, date function, number functions, and some other functions we can say. So these are the things as a data analyst people should know, okay, to work independently. I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. And if you want to find my course of SQL, you can call me on the given number. Okay, thank you.